There he is, the one and only David Furones. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ as always. He's on top of it. And just want to know, because to me, this stock up, stock down, that's some silly stuff. I get it. Most of the editors make you guys do that shit anyways. I know that. But the important for me is injuries. Every day of practice, if you don't get an injury, I call it a great day. So today, did we have a great day?
A great day. Yeah, nothing notable. Yeah, on that. I mean, actually, Dante Trader, I think we didn't see out there, so maybe something he's dealing with. But just as far as an on-field, no serious issues. Again, sometimes these things pop up later on. You find out a guy next practice can't go.
Right.
Find out what the deal is, but yeah, nothing serious at least where or someone went down.
To me, that's really what it's all about, dude. I mean, they're all going to make mistakes and they're going to have moments, good and bad, whatever. But you got to try to get as healthy as possible to the beginning of the season. And that's really the most important. So when I hear you guys come off the field and nobody left, nobody was carted off, nobody limped off, to me, that's a really good day. And then the other, and I had some fun with you on social media, busting balls as always. Zach Sieler addressed the media yesterday, and you and I have talked about this. I mentioned it to you several weeks ago. I asked you, hey, has Sieler complained? No. Is Sieler like holding out? Or no. Is Drew Rosenhaus standing on somewhere demanding it? No. So it's been mostly media created, all this stuff, and he kind of put cold water on it. He looks like he's in a good place where it's at right now. I don't know your thoughts.
Well, I would say he's in a good place as far as that. Yes, he's a team guy. He's going to be practicing, but he also understands that he deserves more money than he has been paid. As
Sure.
I forget where he ranks as far as average annual value of his contract. He's outplayed that extension that he signed 2 years ago. Now back to back double-digit sack seasons to go with the run support that he's always had. He's done it with Christian Wilkins alongside him. He's done it without him. He's been a team leader, consummate pro. So I think it's more about his approaches of just, hey, I am vying for this contract. Yeah, he feels confident. It seems that the organization will do right by him, and so that's why he's not putting up any big fuss, and he handles it his own way while understanding that others will do it how they do it, how Christian Wilkins did it a couple of training camps ago, how John Smith did it. And that's not to say John Smith is any bad guy or anything.
No, not at all.
It wasn't
Not at all.
right, not at all. It was just that was how he decided to go about his business. And then he got paid in Pittsburgh. He got paid somewhere else who was willing to give him that money. So I mean, Zach Sieler, he just handles himself with such integrity. Talked about how he's a man that actually never curses, which is funny. He almost slipped up in saying ass in talking about how Benito Jones, who was wearing the orange jersey, has been working he said and then tail off. And that's how the whole conversation came up. But that's just the kind of guy he is. And, he's strong in his beliefs, and his belief as it comes to the contract situation and how it plays with the team is that he's still got to be out there to practice with his team come training camp.
And I think what, in the media, we have not, I have, but I don't know if you guys have explained this thoroughly enough to fans instead of just, oh, he deserves his money. Oh, this, that. Yeah, we all know that, but the Dolphins have no money. They have no money. And so you have to explain that. And so it does not make any sense to go mortgage the future with Tua when he doesn't know how to take care of himself. You need to maintain flexibility with Tua over the next 2 years so you could get out of the contract if he continues to do stupid shit. If the next 2 years Tua shows you that he plays like he played 2 years ago, then you can start guaranteeing money and you can count on him and all that because he has shown you for 2 years. But for now, you can't. And that's really the only place you can go to find that money that you need for Sieler. So you really aren't going to get cap relief unless you trade Chubb or Tyreek towards the trading deadline or in the offseason. So let's be realistic here. He can bitch and complain all he wants, but it's not going to do any good. And I'm sure that conversation's been had behind the scenes and said, guys, we're going to take care of you, but we can't do it now no matter what. No matter what, we cannot do it because it would be irresponsible for them to give Sieler money by guaranteeing more money to Tua. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't compound a problem. You have to wait its turn. He signed the contract. He's committed. That's his problem, dude. Now you've got to come up with your own, but you can't do anything till the end of the year, trading deadline, whatever it is. Then you can start working on it. That's really the threshold we're waiting for, aren't we?
Well, yeah, you're right. As far as the Tua stuff, I want to maintain flexibility if I'm the Dolphins, and I don't want to mortgage the future by pushing that can down the road. So I know a lot of people have argued for cap space available that route, but yeah, I mean, you're right, and I wouldn't go that way in order to find it. But you can also correct me if I'm wrong. Structure extensions to save in the short term
Ooh,
while that now, but that's the same sort of scenario as far
ooh.
as now that's your cap space that comes down the road
No,
as
but
well.
see, you're throwing generalities at my ass here. Who are you going to extend that you feel good enough that
Oh,
you're
I'm
going
saying
to
with a Zach Sealer extension, with a Zach Sealer extension, then you can save in the short term, but putting more of that money in the extension
right?
toward future years, which
Whereas
is what they've done a lot.
which is you're going to free up the Tyreek money at the end of the year automatically, whether you trade him or at the end of the year you let him go. You're freeing up $30 million, so you'll have Zach Sealer's money easily. And if you trade Chubb at the trading deadline, you'll definitely free up all that money, and you won't have to do all that sacrificing. You can give him a nice fat bonus up front. You can count a lot of it if you want. You can kind of, control that a little bit better. But it's what you just said. If you start spinning it and guaranteeing more money towards the back end, it just creates more cap problems for you. And you're better off just kind of waiting it out here to be. In other words, you made a smart contract. The smart thing as a team is to wait out. Here's the other thing, because I got this yesterday. So a fan goes to me, no, you got to give him the money. What about if he gets injured? And I'm like, yeah, what about if he gets injured? So you're going to kill the team that they gave him the money and then he got injured like Wilkins? So it goes, if you're the Dolphins, you're the only, you're like you're in the driver's seat and you're doing the right thing, the most responsible thing for your team. You're not mortgaging, you're waiting, you're also you've got a great contract in place with one of your best players on the team. You have maximized the shit out of this position. And instead, we're almost treating it like, you can rip the team for letting Van Ginkel go, but you can't rip the team for how they're handling all of this because they have handled it the best way possible to help the team.
Oh yeah, and full circle now as we have a situation where Christian Wilkins is released from the Raiders. How they handled the defensive tackle position, how they chose to go with Zach Sealer and giving him the money that they did then, which was which was more than he was making at the time, but now he has very much outplayed the contract. But you really maximize what you got there while passing on Wilkins, and then look at what a mess it has been for the Raiders with Wilkins, the foot injury, and then now the whole dispute over whether to have surgery and him not doing it, and the foot not getting better, and now they just ultimately release him just after 1 year of that huge. It was 4 years, 110 million with the 57 guaranteed or still left on guarantees, then that's saying a lot. We always knew back then, like, all right, that's a move the Raiders make. You wanted Wilkins at the time, but at a reasonable number, and I know they made him offers before
Yeah, that was a
he
stupid
bet on
contract.
himself.
That was a stupid
But
contract the Raiders gave him.
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Right, we no longer include Wilkins now, and when we talk about that offseason of losing Van Ginkel,
Well, hold on a
losing
second. Well, hold on a
losing
second.
Hunt.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You may want to talk to Joe Shad there because I saw him I saw the tweet this morning, and he goes, perhaps the Dolphins were right because he goes, I wanted them to tag Wilkins. perhaps the Dolphins were right in not tagging him. And then I tweeted back to him, my brother, you were wrong and they were right. There is no perhaps here. Are we good on this already? Like anybody that
I
said
hope
to
so.
sign
Yeah.
by now, if you said to sign or tag Wilkins, you have to admit right now you were wrong, right? Are we clear on that, right? You are not right if you said to re-sign or tag Wilkins, correct?
Yeah. I thought it became very clear when the Raiders came here last November and played, and Wilkins was out. That was
Right.
kind of like, right. It was like, he's not even here. So, yeah.
No, but let me tell you something. Throughout the offseason, I've still heard people, and they didn't want to pay Wilkins. Well, why should they, bro? He wasn't worth that money. He's not that kind of pass rusher. Half his sacks came against two shitty teams. The 9.5 or 10 sacks that he picked up, half of them came against two shitty teams that he played twice, 4 times. Like, look at the stats. He's not an elite pass rusher. You don't pay him. So there's no perhaps. You know what I mean? So those of us in the media, when we're wrong, we got to say we're wrong. I said the Marlins would lose 100 games this year. Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen, David? No,
Not
right?
no more. Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah. They're looking good now.
Wrong on that. I'm a Chris Greer guy. Am I right or wrong right now? I'm dead ass wrong right now, right? He's not winning. He's not getting it done, correct?
Right. Has not. Yeah.
Okay, so we got to admit shit when we're wrong. So when Shad puts out perhaps, there's people here, but GT, F, OH, Joe Shad, like, come on, bro, let's go. Man up. Your ass was wrong and admit that you were wrong. And then, let's see if they give Wilkins. Bro, they will give Sieler the money. That's all we do is make fun of them for giving everybody money. so
they're trying to correct it now.
Yeah, they'll give it. They'll give it to them, but give them credit. They got a bargain from the street. They got a bargain in the contract, and now eventually they'll have to give him the money. But that's money that he's earned in the past and going to earn in the future is what you're going to end up giving him, pretty much. Right. So
for Sieler,
yeah, with Sieler, it'll be amazing, and I know they will. But their situation, and that's why it's a tough situation they're in right now, fiscally, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he seems at peace with because he mentioned the belief that he has in the organization that the team is operating with respect toward what he has earned. Frankly, so I think both sides understand that.
I've made a case to you all offseason that the way Chris Greer is handling the offseason, he's safe. He's coming back next year. And he kind of has set up the team in a way that it's not that good. And, he filled the necessary spots, the guards, defensive tackles, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think this team is nearly as good as it was last year or the year before. So I think McDaniel's in a position to fail pretty much so they can move on to Weaver. Well, yesterday, Artie Burns is placed on the IR. And, you sign a guy that wasn't any good years ago when you drafted him in the 6th round and you bring him back. And everybody's clamoring for Rasul Butler and Asante Samuel and all of that. And it's
Rasul Douglas.
Yeah, Rasul Douglas, whatever. And you lose your Pro Bowl tight end and you bring some retired guy that's a bad rapper in. And he's, by the way, he's in such great shape that he's not ready to practice. And I love the explanation. We got to bring him along slowly. Like, give me a break, dude. What is there slower than there is right now? So it's just kind of weird to me that I don't see any urgency in the front office. But yet, you want urgency in the media, you want urgency from the fans and from the coaching. But when I see all the moves from the front office, I just don't see a front office that is sitting there going, oh, I got to save my coach's job. That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, that's a fair assessment as far as the offseason, the spending, not restructuring Tua's deal because you need to be prepared for the potential of a reset. They didn't look for the extra cash in that way to then be able to spend more. The highest price free agent brought in was James Daniels as a guard, and then you made the big addition of Minkah Fitzpatrick, but that was out of a couple of losses in trading Jalen Ramsey, which you knew you had to do once that became an untenable situation, along with Johnny Smith once you decided, and with the same salary cap issues, you weren't going to pay him more or commit long term off of one season. So yeah, I mean that the offseason move certainly indicates such, and Mike McDaniel's challenge is to get more out of a roster that on paper is less.
Yeah. I've told people, I get it, bro, the nostalgia, all that stuff. I don't think there's a chance that Miami brings Wilkins back this year. Maybe next year as a rotational player, if he's available, or if maybe he wants to be more of a starter, more time. But you just drafted a first round pick. You just drafted his replacement. You know, his replacement last year was Calais Campbell. This year, it's your first round pick, and they've got a fifth round pick.
Yeah,
You
and a
bring
seventh.
and a seventh. You bring Wilkins now, he becomes a progress stopper. And I get it. You bring them. I know you got it flooded in your emails and in DMs probably. Hey, are the Dolphins going to try to bring Wilkins back? I don't think people understand. There's a youth movement. They're not going to bring Wilkins back now. Now, I'm not telling you that next year, if there's a favorable deal to bring him back, but they've got limited funds right now, and if they're going to spend it, they're going to spend it on a corner or something. They're not going to spend it on a defensive tackle who may take time away from their young guys that they need to develop and play this year. And by the way, if you bring Wilkins and he starts playing next to Sieler, you're going to be ripping them because Grant isn't going to be playing a lot. And then you're going to be saying, well, wait a minute, why'd you draft Grant if you're playing Wilkins and you brought him back and all that? So it's a no-win situation to bring Wilkins into this specific situation right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't do it for. Well, first of all, wouldn't even know if Wilkins is going to play
Right.
this season based on what's happening. But I mean, the Raiders just released him. I don't think they're doing that if they have some kind of hope that he's going to come back and be productive at all this year. So, and not that I know the medical situation with his injury, but obviously he was still in a boot as of recently. Training camp has started, and we just reached this boiling point in his relationship with the Raiders, where now it's come to an end and they release him. So, um, I, I mean, it wouldn't be for anything more than a league minimum contract, and I don't know if Christian Wilkins is trying to do that either. Granted, he's also got this dispute over the guaranteed money in his contract too, so it might depend on whether he gets that or not. But yeah, you're right. That it's not only that, but then also you already moved on with how you've operated this offseason. You don't draft three defensive tackles and one in the first round, use your first round pick if you don't have your plan in place for now moving on from Christian Wilkins entirely. So, yeah, I'm with you where it's now it's the Kenneth Grant show with Zach Sieler up there. And hey, even Benito Jones was an orange jersey early
Right.
in practice here.
Right. You
So,
got Benito and you got the two young kids on top of you got more than
yeah.
enough right now, and you cannot bring him into this situation. Now, next year, I don't know where they're at next year. I don't know who's injured, who's healthy, who played well, who didn't. That I can leave it open and say, oh yeah, some
Yeah,
crazy
down the road. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
for next year. But even that, if he's healthy, he should find a home somewhere where he'll have starter time. If Grant plays well, you're moving on with Grant and Sieler. You're not going to bring back Wilkins, and especially coming off a foot injury that all of a sudden, he might be out of football for almost 2 years because he got injured early last year, and then he's going to miss most of this year or all of this year. That's a lot of football to miss for a guy like that at
Yeah.
this point. So
Yeah. And
it's
what if he finally decides to give it and have that surgery? Then that's a whole nother lengthy period rehabbing that. So,
yeah.
yeah.
The dude made $49.7 million in the last calendar year. He's a badass. He's a badass. Bro, they paid him 20.5 million in March for a roster bonus. I mean, that's, and at that moment they thought he was healing. So this is to me the whole Raider thing is they've always been notoriously cheap. They're not sure if he's going to come back from a tough foot injury. They're not willing to take the chance. So they'd rather try to save the money now and challenge like they've done with so many other people in the past. He learned all of this from his dad. His dad did the same shit to other players and to plenty of coaches where he filed grievances and all kinds of stuff. So this is
Mm-hmm.
something new that has gone on in the history of the Raiders, bro. You know what I mean?
Nowadays, huh?
Yeah. So we'll find out if it's a he said thing. Is it really that his foot can get healthy and he's fine? Did he go get an opinion that the doctor told him, no, you don't need that second surgery? Or did they use this like, no, you need the second surgery as a way, as a loophole to get out of this? That's why I'm not gonna even pick on Wilkins on this. I'm gonna lay it all on the Raiders until proven otherwise, because that is their history. I can't trust them. Whereas all I know of Christian Wilkins is he's a quality human being. He works harder than anybody else out there. He's as dedicated to his craft as it gets. So I believe if he was trying to rehab, he's going to do his best to come back and be the best person that he can be and best player. So I trust the guy that I've watched here for many years. Did I agree to pay him the kind of money? No, no, no. But that's two different arguments. That's two different
Yeah,
discussions.
yeah.
I would never question the character of Christian Wilkins. That's just me. That's just
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah. And even as all this was going on, we would ask Chris Greer about Wilkins, and every answer he would start off with some anecdote about how, well, I had just seen him working out, on his own time, and he was, running outside doing this. He was, yeah, I just ran into him. He's always working out on his own, so
Dude, you
honing
dealt
in
with
on his craft. So
dude, you dealt with him. You know the guys that are full of shit. You know the guys that are real pros.
yeah,
You know
he's about ball. Yeah, he's about his ball. Yeah.
you know Christian Wilkins is all of that, dude. All of that, bro. And so I will trust that Christian Wilkins was doing his best. This is just the cheap Raiders. They don't want to take the risk. So they think that going through the lawyers and all that would be the best way of doing this. That's it. That's just
And
how.
now, yeah, this will add a chip on the shoulder of Christian Wilkins, I'm sure, for
Yeah,
whenever he does come back down the road.
yeah. He can't feel too bad. He's got 20 million extra on it, so he
Yeah,
didn't even have to
he
play this year, and he made 20 million. So God bless him, bro. He
he,
got a
he went to Vegas on a quick trip and he came out winning. Not a lot of people can say that they came out on top when they
big,
came back from Vegas.
big time. All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel so Dolphins can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, covering these training camp practices. So, actually, today I'm going to write about Jalen Phillips. We got to interview him and another recovery. Interesting. He detailed how the ACL he felt was way easier than coming back from the Achilles. Jonas Avayanaya finally revealed in an interview, which it's information that we have to withhold, even though we see it in practice, but that he's been playing left guard. So now that he has said it, then word is out there. Fans at the first practice that's open on Saturday, I'm sure would have seen it. But yes, that he's been on
Well,
the
they
left
can
side with
sue
Patrick
me. They
Paul.
can sue me because I've said he's playing left guard for months now. So whatever. Like really, like that's. That.
Yeah,
I just had an interview with Manny Navarro. Do you know that they don't know yet exactly the date of practice? Like he goes, well, I think it's the 31st. I'm hearing and I'm like, well, what do you mean you're hearing it's the 31st? Like the Canes haven't, well, they'll tell us like a day or two before. And I'm like, what?
that's
What
wild
is
to
it? Like
me.
a secret or something? Like, he goes, yeah, they don't want to like say it exactly because then drones are flying. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my goodness.
So,
I mean,
so like
the
Joseph
things that
is going to be a secret throughout the offseason, and he's going to play left guard when we know Daniels is a right guard. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, the things that football coaches like think are a competitive advantage. I know it it baffles me sometimes, but yeah, they are how they are, and they get paranoid about what they think other coaches can draw from a lot of different things. So they have their reasons, I guess. But
All I
yeah,
can
it's
say is
wild to
if
us.
you think that's a good idea, you must be stoned at the podium. That's
Oh,
all I got.
is that your new segments for?
That's the new segment. Yes, it's called "Stoned at the Podium," and we'll get it when people rant.
Oh
And
no.
it may not only be, I mean, McDaniel will be one of the main contributors to it because there's nobody better at ranting just gobbledygook than McDaniel. But there'll be others. I'm thinking I can do a Riley one.
Oh wow.
Yes, his season-ending press conference. There was a lot of gobbledygook there, and
Mm.
so I actually think I can do one with Riles. So we'll have some fun with that. The new segment, Stoned at the Podium. So it's
Wow.
all good. It's all good. All right, follow him on
You're
Twitter.
bad, Big O. You're bad.
We just gotta have some fun, bro. I mean, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
I
easy.
know.
Have some fun with it. David Furones _ on X. Make sure you follow him there and subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. They do an excellent job. David, as always, much love, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tuesday afternoon.
Excellent.
All right. You got it. There you go. Welt Rheaume, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, 954-966-4646. We're in hurricane season, but we have learned it's not just about hurricanes anymore. We could have torrential downpours at any time. A cumulonimbus cloud can climb right over your state and just drop a boatload of water. And all of a sudden, you've got flooding, you've got roof damage, you see the brown spots. You're like, wait a minute, I got to call the insurance company. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever call the insurance companies. You call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. They send their adjusters who work for you. The adjusters for the insurance company work for the insurance company, not for you. They're not looking out for your best interest. But Welt and Rheaume is. And then they get their adjusters. They overlook everything, the real damage, and then they go after the insurance company. You never have to deal with the insurance company. That is such a huge burden lifted off your shoulders. 954-966-4646, and the consultation's free at Welt and Rheaume.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.